All right, we're on. And my headphones are really loud. I'm not sure about you guys.
I'm good.
I'm good, too.
Good. It's just me. All right, it's Birdland Radio 2019. If you're joining us at, 9 in the morning? This is early for Section 336.
Yes, it is.
We're going to get started. Full packed lineup, and let's just start the show right now.
Section 336. Section 336. Section 336. It's the new Baltimore generation talking about the Orioles and the Ravens. And someday Josh, Bert, and Matt might even find time to talk about the Blasts. This is the world's greatest podcast. No better place to talk about sports that are being played in Baltimore. Section 336. Section 336. Section 336. Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Birdland Radio. We are Section 336. I am your dearly stuttering host, kicking off Birdland Radio, Matt Soroka. I'm also joined by the zany one, Bert Rohde.
Good morning, coconuts.
And the button lover, Josh Soroka.
Good morning. BirdlandRadio.com is now working again.
All right, so you can check us out on, whatever, Twitter, Facebook, BirdlandRadio.com.
Twitch, we're all over
Periscope.
there. Whatever
Yeah.
you want, we're coming to you.
And a day-long a talk for Orioles baseball talk all day long. This is our third annual, not our third Birdland Radio.
We're going to say it's annual. We
We'll say annual.
skipped last year.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we're going to go with...
And so we take the blame for what happened last year. I think that's on us. What happened with the season, the Orioles' high expectations go downhill. That's really on Josh for not doing Birdland Radio.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I can see that. I can understand that. But that's putting some really big expectations on this year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the reason we're getting together to do this again this year is the demand. I mean, that's all we heard
That's
at
right.
FanFest. People
That's right.
wanted it.
That's
I mean,
right.
I would have been content to not come in on a Sunday morning at 9 a.m., but they wanted it, so I'm here.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all you 336ers.
Is this like church for a Oriole fan then?
Sure.
Early Sunday morning service of Section 336?
Marathon church. If you ever wanted to be in church for 12 hours, then you're in the right place.
Well, I think for a lot of people, baseball is their religion, so I think a lot of this makes sense.
Have you ever been to one of those churches that sets a day apart and it's a day of prayer? And like every hour they're praying? That's basically
I've seen
this.
that, yeah.
Because the Orioles desperately need some help.
So every hour we're praying for the Orioles to be relevant this year.
Yeah, that's actually not a terrible idea to set up a praying room for the Orioles. Yeah.
Hey,
because
guys,
we can
here's
get
my
each other
surprise guest.
Oh my gosh, she's back!
Oh, the
Are you
intern.
kidding me?
I told you
Intern
guys.
in the building.
I couldn't
Guys, I
get
haven't been able to find the studio for like 3 years.
I couldn't get
This is
Chris
weird.
Davis, couldn't get Trey Mancini this
This
year
is
for
better.
you guys. So I thought you'd enjoy this.
The world's worst intern is back in studio.
This is
better.
unbelievable. Unprecedented.
We could not ask for a
that
better
should work
guest.
for you?
I wish I would have known. I could have prepared so many questions.
I told you guys, nothing to worry about for this early show. I got you covered.
And there he is. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. In the flesh, in the studio.
I've been upgraded. I get to be in here.
How long has this been?
This is a big day because the intern's back. It's also a big day because it's the first time he's ever been in studio. We've always made him wait outside the glass, and just kind of like hand motions. Now he's actually in the studio with us for the first time.
He brought his laptop. Like, are you going to contribute?
Well, what I'm excited about the intern.
The new and improved. I like that
Well,
jersey too.
what we got to
Yeah.
find out about the intern is now that the Orioles suck, what team's he rooting for?
Well, the Red Sox just won the World Series.
Right, exactly.
I'm
So
sure he's back on that
he had to
bandwagon,
enjoy
right?
that.
This is a test of his loyalty.
I have been enjoying the Capitals.
Okay.
Wrong sport, but
Okay.
still local.
He's
Okay.
hockey
Now-
intern now.
The young people like winners, so I don't blame them.
Now
they
remember-
like winners.
The intern left us for politics.
That's right.
Yes.
I
Yes.
did.
I thought you would come. I thought the next time we would have you on, it would be like Mayor
Like
Stewart
suit and tie.
or Mayor Intern. Yeah. But that's cool. You did the politics thing.
Yeah.
And you're still doing the politics thing.
Still doing it. I was
Yeah.
gonna say I did all those fake sound bites like a couple years back, being like, "This is Mayor Stewart. This is Senator Stewart."
It's got a nice ring to
Right.
it. It's got a nice ring to
And
it.
why did we not get those sound bites?
Uh,
Hey, even the chat room's waking up excited the intern's back.
Yeah, Intern's back.
So if you jumped on 336 in the past 2 years, you don't know who the intern is. But we've been doing this a long time, and the intern stuck with us for a few years.
Absolutely.
Had some great trips to Sarasota with the intern.
Yeah.
Got some solid sunburns.
Yeah.
I think I still have a little video of you snoring on the couch. Might have to pull that up.
All that when people see our blast video, that was all the intern.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to know why we haven't done any videos in the past year or so, it's because we don't have a cameraman.
Yeah, we lost our guy.
Lost the intern.
But he's back now. He's back.
You look good, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I lost a quarter of my body weight.
Very good. Good for
He
you.
does look good.
I offered the intern the morning
You just
show.
said he does look
does
good.
look good.
I offered him the morning show or the evening show. And there's no way the old intern would have been here in the morning.
I remember the classic Birdland Radio a few years ago where we were needing him to come. My mic's messed up again.
I even ran you a new cord.
Yeah, it might be the microphone itself.
Or the user.
User error.
Where we were expecting him to show up to help us with something.
Yeah, and he blew off the entire day.
A tree fell over your house or something.
There was a snowstorm. There was a tree that fell across the entire road, and I was like, I'm stuck.
Hold on. It wasn't a snowstorm.
There was a snowstorm.
We've never had a snowstorm on Birdland Radio, from what I can remember.
Well, it was a storm that caused the tree to fall down.
I think
still-
it could be rain, wind.
It's still a bit of an odd excuse. I couldn't make it to the game because the tree fell down.
Yeah.
And
And remember,
still a bit odd to
it's not like he just missed our morning show. He disappeared for the entire day.
Yeah. But he's here now, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And on time, for the most part. Yeah, that's great.
If
Thoughts on the Orioles this year, intern?
I will once the Capitals are out of the playoffs, and then I will relearn the entire team.
Okay,
join us.
There is
yeah.
a lot of you're not alone.
Well,
There's
yeah.
a lot of new names. And
game
we'll talk
2
about them
yesterday
today.
had 2 people on the roster that was on the roster last April.
The open day lineup.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Opening day
the
had
lineup,
more.
I mean the lineup yesterday.
The lineup for game 2, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if you count pitchers and everything, yeah. But yes,
There's more.
The lineup was 2 guys.
The intern does look good. I feel like everyone has got.
You can't get over this.
I've gotten fatter and uglier because this is what happens when you get older. You're not supposed to look better as you get older. You're supposed to look worse. That kind of pisses me off now.
So we are going to do a bunch of Orioles talk today,
Yeah.
even though if this morning show has a good amount of intern talk. We've got after us is SG Sports, then Adam Pohl, BaltimoreBaseball.com is coming in. Then we got our friends Ryan Blake, Kyle Andrews from 105.7, RDT from Barstool are all going to come in, and they're going to do a show together. Birdland BS, The Extra Point Show, Baseball's Boring, The Payoff Pitch, Not Your Mama's Christian Podcast, The Warehouse, Full Count Chaos, and then the Maryland Sports Blog is going to take an hour, and then we're going to be back this evening around 9:30 p.m. taking your calls.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And we expect you listeners to stay tuned for all 12 hours.
12 hours plus
Yeah.
by my count.
Put
12
it
hours
on.
plus.
Put it on in the background. Let it just play. I don't know, while you're cutting the grass in the rain.
Well, we're hoping the rain lets up because I think we have some outdoor activities planned for later today as well, right?
Oh yeah, that's why we brought the intern. Need him to.
Yeah,
intern need
he's
you to
our
shoot some
ringer.
video. Actually, not really. Need you to play some wiffle ball.
Need you to work. Yeah.
No, I'm excited. I think the timing works out well. I know a lot of people mark their calendars. Spring begins at Birdland Radio.
Yes.
Some people go with opening day. I go with the spring begins.
This
at
is the
Birdland Radio.
first Birdland Radio where the Orioles have played 2 games already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I think in some ways that works to our favor because I thought maybe they would go winless, but the win yesterday I think put some wind underneath the sails
Sure.
of Birdland Radio. A little bit of optimism. We saw manager Hyde get his first win.
Yeah.
The beer shower.
Mm-hmm.
All of that was very nice.
It was fun. And I enjoyed reading the social media about how the Orioles AAA lineup beat the evil empire of the New York Yankees with Aaron Judge and all their superstars.
I thought it was a double A lineup, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Well,
the point's the same.
in a lot of sense, AAA can be worse than AA.
Well, you know,
all your good
That's
players
true.
are in AA.
That's true.
While I was setting up and testing everything this morning, ESPN, I was watching SportsCenter, and they were talking on there about how the Yankees need to be concerned that they lost a game to the Orioles. And it's like, it's game 2. It's settled
I know,
down.
people are freaking
It's
out.
a game.
But people are freaking out because the Yankees lost to the Orioles. Like, I think we're going to beat the Yankees, at least one more time this year.
Hopefully.
I'll go out on a win with one more.
But there's no guarantees of that. Because if you look at the roster, I mean, it's understandable. If you look at the roster, the roster's a joke. But we talk all the time. We've said it, and everyone else has said it. Like, we understand what we're in for. We're gonna be terrible. Like, trust the process. But when you were watching that game yesterday, and when we got the lead, and when you saw Dick Blyer go in there and try to blow the lead, don't tell me that you were sitting there saying, I really don't care what happens. I'm okay if we lose. And when Mike Wright finally got the save, like, you were standing up and applauding. Because it's one thing, like, in theory, to say, I'm okay if we lose every game. But once the games start, like, if we would have lost that game, that would have been heart-wrenching, even though I expect us to lose every single game.
Yes.
Because,
that's not the way you expect to lose.
Yeah, well, yeah, and like it's in theory, I'm expecting to lose every game, but when you watch, you want them to win.
Right.
You root for them to win.
Well, and I don't expect this pitching staff to hold the Yankees to one run through 8 innings either. Like, that's what occurred yesterday.
Sure.
And that was a complete shock to me. And maybe, it was a matter of switching a pitcher every 2 innings. But
Right.
it's only one game.
Well, yeah.
I can't get too excited.
I mean, that's part of what we can talk about today. It's the opener. The Orioles finally did that, but I mean, we at least get to celebrate. We're not going 0-21. We're not the worst Orioles start ever.
True.
And then a lot of people making a big deal yesterday about the fact of Chris Davis and Cedric Mullins not being in the lineup against a lefty.
Yeah.
Do you think there was anything to that, or do you think it's game 2 and Brendan Hyde just wants to see more players on the field?
Well, our next 2 games, today and Monday,
Lefties.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna find out if this is just a match. Is it Chris Davis that no longer hits against lefties? Which I was saying at the beginning of last year. Why is Chris Davis hitting against lefties? He can't hit righties or lefties. So at least let's just make him bat against righties. Since we have when we're going up against lefties, we have other right-handed batters who we know could do better than Chris Davis. So the idea of Chris Davis platooning seems so much common sense. I never understood why it didn't happen before. Now, Cedric Mullins is a different case because he's a young player, and maybe if you want, I know he hits better he's a switch hitter, right? So he hits better from the left side of the plate against righties. But to me, if you're Cedric Mullins and you're manager Hyde, you want to get a look at what Cedric Mullins can do to see if he can be a both sides of the plate guy or see if he's a platoon guy. That's what I never understood. We always talked about this with Matt Wieters too. Like, if you're a switch hitter, but you only hit well from one side of the plate, why are you a switch hitter?
Yeah,
right. That never really made sense to me. So, like, if he seriously cannot hit against lefties, if he can't hit from the right side of the plate, then why are you a switch hitter, Cedric Mullins? So, I mean, I would like to see him get a chance, because we know a bunch of good outfielders are coming up in the minors. So while he still has a chance to be the everyday center fielder before everybody else comes, I want to see if this kid can hit righties and lefties. But I'm absolutely on board with Chris Davis not hitting against lefties.
The thing with Davis, I got 2 points.
Yeah.
One, what is this with calling him Manager Hyde? Is that like a new moniker you've established?
Right.
Manager Hyde?
Yeah,
you've said it multiple times now.
Right,
he was never Manager Showalter.
Well, that's true. I don't know.
Manager Hyde. There's a show title, first show, Birdland Radio.
I don't know.
Second point, Chris Davis, he should be a platoon guy. The problem is they're paying him to be an everyday player.
Yes.
But, I mean, you could say that for some of the crazy overpaid pitchers who only play every 5 days. Chris Davis is essentially the hitting version of a pitcher who only pitches every 5 days.
Yeah, just hold that wire in. Or something. Something's up with your mic. We'll get it fixed. Or
we'll have to put an X on this seat.
Yeah, we're gonna we'll deal with that.
Deal with it.
All right, Matt. While you talk, I'll fix Bert's mic.
All right, you fix Bert's mic. I want to. There's a couple, and so we're agreement on Chris Davis should never bat against lefties. I'm all on board with that. I love Josh is handling the problem of Bert's mic by just stealing the intern's mic and giving it to Bert.
I only have
we
4 mics.
We invite the intern back after 3-year absence, and then within 5 minutes of the show, Josh already takes his mic away.
You've been stripped of your powers.
I mean, I feel like I deserve this.
Hey, I set,
now it's working for him.
I set that mic up there specifically for the intern.
Yeah. Here's the thing I don't know, and we'll get to in when we do our 9:30 show. We're gonna do our predictions, our bold predictions, and I have some bold predictions, which I'm a little mad the season already started in this respect. my bold predictions are already starting to come true. I'm like, slow down, Orioles. I don't want all my bold predictions to come true before the season even happens.
You haven't even announced them yet.
I know. And we're going to do our predictions for the win total for the season, which I'm excited about too.
Right.
But I'll say this. Here's I'm already, and this is I'm terrible. Like I'm already being swayed by 2 games. By the win yesterday, like I want to change my opinion. Like I want to say, this
The
is
young guys. The young
season.
guys look good. Why not?
Because here's what I don't know how to.
Right.
Here's what I don't know how to figure. So I have last year's team. I know how that went. This year, I know the roster says we should be. I don't know, like maybe a 40-win team.
Right.
But what I don't know how to calculate is manager Hyde.
Again,
is he makes the smart, right decisions. It's insane on one level that we have the second game of the season. This is not like a month in. The second game of the season, we're already like, we don't have a starting pitcher. We have to go to our opener.
Yeah.
Right? On the one hand, that's
Right.
insane. On the other hand, it literally gave us the best chance to win.
Well-
and so Hyde's going to do not what's traditional, not
Hyde's going to do what Hyde's going to do.
not like I don't want to hurt Dylan Bundy's confidence by putting an opener out there before him, right? Like I'm not going to back Chris Davis. I'm back Chris Davis 4 all the time just because I don't want to hurt his feelings. Like Hyde's going to do the math, right? And so I don't know how many wins that equals, but maybe that equals some. Like today, if manager Showalter, if he's managing yesterday's game, I think Dylan Bundy's pitching. And I think we lose by 10 runs.
All right, so you're gonna go with a Hyde being Hyde thing for this season and
Manager
keep track
Hyde
of
being
what.
Manager Hyde.
Yeah, so I think it is interesting, and I thought it was strange too at first, and then I looked at it and I remembered how they were lining up the spring training games so that like everyone would be on schedule going in. So then when your starter gets hurt, when Cobb gets hurt, there was no way you going to shift everyone and everyone be off a day.
Yeah.
Instead, they made Cashner off a day since he'd get the extra days off with opening day, and then put that guy in there to give everyone normal rest. It makes sense.
Yeah, and also with like the lineup construction though, right? Like doing a whole righty lefty platoon type idea, like
On day 2, where in a season that nothing's supposed to matter.
yeah, like
Hyde's. You mean Hyde's trying to win?
He is, and from an I would argue Mike Elias is trying to lose. By putting that open day, like the open day roster is a really like if you ask me the end of last season, even knowing that Showalter was gone and Duquette was gone, how much the opening day roster has changed. And you mentioned that comment about the lineup yesterday, but there's so many players, whether through waivers like the guy like Dwight the outfielder, or were you talking about the couple Rule 5 guys? Right. There's so many guys who just weren't even in the organization last year. Like I thought, okay, a new regime, we'll see the young players, and that's going to be the new players for the Orioles. But it's guys outside the organization who are here, which I think says what Elias thought about the players that were already here to bring in a bunch of new guys, and not new guys who like got big contracts, guys who were on waivers because they got cut by other teams and they come here, or Rule 5 because they're not protected by other teams because they're not the other team's top 40 players. But that's who we're rolling with. And yesterday's win does not make me optimistic about the season, but it does, like, I raise these 2 questions. How much does, like, good, smart managing equal wins? Like, I think I got 1 win yesterday that we wouldn't have gotten before. How many more wins do we get because we're just really well managed and kind of analytically managed? And 2, what is, like, how does youthful enthusiasm, youthful ignorance, right? Like a bunch of young players who aren't supposed to be in the majors, but they're there and they're having fun and they're playing. Right. How much does that equal wins as well? Those are questions I don't know the answer to.
Sure. I was thinking as you're talking about the lineup and how it's all these young guys. I do think before the show's over, we should play a game with the intern where you read a guy in the lineup and he tells us what position the guy plays.
Oh, you could probably play that with me right now too. I don't know how.
It's
how
true.
I would do.
That's true.
And there could be some trick questions, like Jackson, the Rule 5 guy,
Drew Jackson.
Drew Jackson. Thank you.
I hadn't heard of before last Thursday.
Yeah, you could probably throw out any position and it'll be like, yeah, that's correct, right? For Drew Jackson.
Well, yeah, Drew Jackson
Sure,
plays
he's
everything,
super
right?
utility, right?
No, he's the guy who's listed as a shortstop, yet he's made 2 appearances. 1 in left and 1 in center.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And he's the shortstop.
Yeah,
so.
he's the upgraded Ryan Flaherty.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but did Ryan Flaherty ever play center field? I don't think Ryan.
No, Ryan Flaherty
He
didn't
made
play
the corner
center field. He played
outfielders,
corner outfield.
and all the infield positions.
All the infields. I don't remember Flaherty in center for the Orioles.
Yeah.
I believe he's played it at some point because I remember him talking about how he's never played like pitcher.
Right,
and no catcher in an official game, but he was the warm-up catcher.
And the emergency catcher. That
Right,
everyone
the
always
third
talks about.
string, yeah.
Yeah, which you never.
Right. Just like Cook is the emergency quarterback for the Ravens. You never get to the emergency guy.
Yeah, but it's just fun to speculate who would be that guy. Yeah.
Well, this is the first Birdland Radio, like we said, that the season already started. They've already played 2 games, and they played a day at 1:05.
Yes.
So that's when we got Birdland BS is doing the 1:00 show.
Yeah,
so there will be
that's a
live
tough hour for
podcasts
them.
going on in the studio while the Oriole game is on Masson.
Yeah.
So I mean that's cool. We'll be out there watching the game on television. These guys might be able to give like breaking news, like not even a play-by-play, but
Like
something. It's like when
Chris Davis struck out again.
Yeah,
What
or
type of
remember we
breaking
had that
news?
game where Manny Machado charged the mound on your
that's
Ventura,
true. That was
and
fun.
we called that live as it happened.
That
was exciting.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be some bombs hit today because you have Dylan Bundy, who loves to get home runs balls more than anyone I've ever seen, and you got the Yankees lineup, so that should be a lot of home runs,
A lot of dongs.
a lot of dongs today. That should be entertaining for some people.
Sure.
Yeah. Is there? I don't want to get too far into predictions here because we're going to save something for 9:30. And by the way, 9:30 we're opening up the phone lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, the phone lines are open always.
Phone lines are open all day.
But
But 9:30 will definitely take your calls.
Yeah, we're sharing our predictions, and we want to get your predictions as well as 9:30.
But yeah, feel free to call this
That's
morning
PM.
if you want. Phone numbers
Right now
on the
it's 9:30
screen.
AM.
410-216-5800.
Yeah, if you can't get in the PM, you can get in the AM.
That's a good time for the 336ers to call in to let us know that we didn't waste our entire day.
Yes, because that would be the entire day.
All you people who told us to do this again this year, that's your chance to call and thank us.
And say thank you for doing this again.
In the past, that
Or we'll never do it
9:30
again.
in the past that 9:30 show has been fun because that's when we've gotten calls from like Vegas and
like
out
all over
west.
the world.
Like where we were like, oh, people actually been listening.
Yeah.
But we also got the
out
chat room going, which
Yeah.
so that you can chat with us and other Oriole fans. So it's fun. It seems like as technology improves, Birdland Radio improves, and we get to be a little bit more interactive each year.
Yeah, but a really fun. But can we just talk about a second that beer shower? That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Sure.
Brandon Hyde,
His first official win.
Manager Hyde, his first win, rode in the cart and just getting beer dumped on him. That was a fun video to watch.
Now that's something because he's a rookie manager. That's
Yes.
his first
Yes, his
ever
first
win.
win.
Right.
No, that's the new Oriole tradition. Every win. Forget pies. It's that.
When it only happens a few times a year, you got to celebrate.
True.
Right,
It's going to
exactly.
be like if it was a home game, like if we beat the Yankees at home, we should have like a storm the
right.
field, like college
yeah.
basketball.
All right,
When
the
they
year
finally
of the
get a big
pies, we enjoyed the pie every time.
Sure.
And if you were at the game live, you would stand and wait to see it in person.
Yes.
Would you get tired if they did a beer celebration for every win?
No, that's like asking me if I
think-
ever get
right.
tired of beer. No,
I
the
think it'd
answer's
be
no.
awesome. I think they should do it for every win.
I would not get tired of it either. I know one person though who will get tired of it.
Brandon
and,
Hyde?
and thankfully he was not in the. I guess he's
Well-
rehabbing in Sarasota now.
Oh, Trumbo.
Trumbo.
I don't know.
yeah.
No way.
No
Trumbo's
fun.
totally a beer guy.
No
But
fun.
he
doing
He doesn't like
Trumbo.
pie, but
he would not go. He doesn't.
doesn't like fun.
He's a business guy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Baseball's a business. To
Gotcha.
him. All this enthusiasm.
Yeah, why have fun doing this?
I could see Trumbo having trouble in this locker room with
Yes.
all these
With
young
all the young
players
guys.
and the enthusiasm,
Yeah.
and he's over there. You know,
He's ratting everything out to Mike
he's-
Elias.
he's the
When's
guy-
payday?
He's the guy that pulls the that Phillies guy and takes out the baseball bat and smashes the TV when all the young players are playing Fortnite.
Oh yeah, Fortnite
Yeah.
guy.
Yep.
For the game.
Yeah, he would not like Fortnite.
Do you think Manager Hyde allows Fortnite in his locker room before games?
I don't know.
I don't know. Buck would have. Buck was always about playing games.
You think
and-
so?
Yeah, remember he brought in ordered new air hockey tables and ping pong tables and stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know, video games.
Video games are different.
I mean, Buck would just make some snarky comment post game about how he doesn't understand what they're doing with their buttons and
Yeah,
And
I
fingers.
don't know.
What causes more injuries, air hockey or video games?
video games.
I haven't heard any air hockey injuries.
You
I've
know
heard
what?
of video game injuries.
I would ban pitchers from Fortnite. Because the pitchers are the ones who get all sensitive with like a callus on their finger, and now
Yeah.
I can't play.
I don't play video games much anymore, but when I was a kid and I played all the time, I remember getting like blisters on your
Well,
thumbs.
that was the old NES.
Yeah, you have that
Yeah,
little square controller
and
with the wire.
and the hard buttons. They've definitely improved video game controllers since the NES.
So that you don't get blisters anymore?
Yeah. I mean, I guess the real gamers get blisters.
Well, no, the real
And then-
gamers got the gloves.
No. See, that was an NES thing where they would sell the gloves or the little sponges to stick on your buttons.
It's so bad.
But I don't know.
Wizard
I
reference.
mean, I think you would allow Fortnite.
I love how these video
I don't
game
know.
references are both too old and too young for me.
yeah.
I'm in that sweet spot of not knowing any of this.
What's your video game sweet spot, intern?
It used to be like, Call of Duty back in the day.
On
Okay.
what console?
Xbox 360.
That's what I still have. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't ever even use it. My kids use it to play Happy Action Theater because it fills the room with lava in the Xbox Kinect.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
That lava.
But I haven't
Gets
upgraded
quick.
since the 360.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Well, there's
Josh,
that.
have you gotten the new MLB The Show? If I can bring
Yeah,
connect
well-
video games with baseball.
Yeah, we'll play it a little bit later tonight.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
It's a good improvement. I like it. And
I'm not getting it until because it only has players on the Orioles 40-man, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't have Diaz. It doesn't have Mountcastle.
No, it doesn't have those guys yet.
Because they haven't ever gotten the call up yet.
No,
I'm waiting for those
and
guys.
it needs an. I didn't check. I haven't played since opening day. I'm hoping it had an opening day like roster boost or whatever.
Right.
Because it's got some guys that are not on the Orioles anymore.
Oh.
Can you
So-
still
Is
create
Kobe
your own
Rasmus
player?
Still on there?
I'm sure you can. I haven't played it that much.
When I was a kid and they had those games, you create your own player and you automatically make him the best guy on the team.
Yeah.
Like super power,
Yeah,
super
It's
speed.
not like that anymore. Because I did the last one, I did that, and you got to like work your way up through single lane.
No,
double
that's
lane.
too
You
much
gotta be
work.
terrible.
Yeah,
You
too
much
gotta
work.
like
improve.
now you got to press some buttons
They
to
make
like
it too much like real life.
right. Like now you have to play a mode where you like lift the weights.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
No, like I'm like according to the commercial, I haven't done it yet, but they show the
literally
guy
have to
like
lift the weights?
you press doing bench presses.
Yeah. Before you know, you got to do the whole workout and routine. It's got to be your full time job just to be a good video game.
Do you
player.
have to like? Is there a mode where like you go out to bars and you have to turn down advances from women who are just after your money and things
Right.
like that?
You got to write your phone number on balls and throw them out of the bullpen. So,
You got to get in spats with Jose Canseco.
Yeah, Twitter feuds. Is there a Twitter mode?
Can I tell you guys? I don't know if you guys did. Jose Canseco, you're aware of? He's a former baseball player.
Yes, heard of him.
Yeah. He just started a podcast. Are you guys aware of this?
No.
okay.
It's called.
Is it like Alex Jones? I
called-
imagine him like the Alex Jones of
Yeah.
the sports world.
Well, it's called like the Absolute Truth with Jose Canseco.
I'm in.
I'm all
and
in
like first
just on the title.
episode, he's like, we're gonna talk about Bigfoot, aliens, like nothing's off.
Hold on, but I want to talk about. I want him talking about steroids.
He did. Well, the whole first episode was about A-Rod is
All right.
is just getting married to J-Lo.
Right.
And he's claiming that A-Rod cheats on her all the time.
Yes.
Especially with Jose Canseco's
His-
ex-wife.
Yeah, I've seen that
so-
rumor around.
Yeah, and so the whole podcast really him talking about
Josh, that would make for a great second episode of Ghost Runners.
Yeah.
Is A-Rod cheating on J-Lo?
All right.
But his whole evidence for that, because listen to the whole podcast, his whole evidence for that is one time he was with Jessica and A-Rod caught her. And that was the whole evidence
Busted.
for why they're cheating and why he always cheats. And there was one phone call. But whatever. Okay.
I'm in
That's
for
enough.
that though. That sounds interesting.
Yeah,
and
that's-
I'm one who will believe anything Jose Canseco has to say.
Yeah, I believe it too.
He's got nothing to lose.
Yeah. And he says it all the time, how he's 100% truthful. And his whole thing is, like, this is the premise of his podcast, he says. And I think, Josh, we should steal this premise. He's like, I want to get guests on here, but there's only one rule. This is what he says. There's only one rule to be a guest on my show. You have to sit down and take a polygraph while you do the podcast.
He's really doing that?
Yeah, and like he's saying, I'm doing it, and anyone, so we get to the truth. And anyone who comes to the studio has to go on a
I like
polygraph for the podcast because he only deals with the truth.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I think we should do that too. I think whenever we have guests on, put them on the polygraph. When we have Adam Pohl on, put him on the polygraph. Do you think Ryan Mountcastle will be good? We'll find out the truth.
Busted.
Which guy that's not on the Orioles roster right now? Right, there's a lot of good minors. You think of like guys like Austin Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
You think of guys like Ryan Mountcastle. There's also a bunch of like pitchers down there, like Luis Ortiz, Cody Carroll. Phillips. There's just a lot of young pitchers like in AAA. Which
Right.
guy that's not on the roster right now, that's not on the 25-man roster, you think will have the biggest impact on this 2019 season? Is there a guy, or are there guys
Yeah, I got a guy.
that you think are not on the team now but will have a huge impact on the season?
Yeah, I got him. Austin Hayes.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be the first guy caught up.
Okay. A lot of people are saying that. I don't think Austin Hayes is on the fast track here. I really don't. I think he could be down there a little while.
You think because we've got enough outfielders?
Yeah.
Let Joey Rickard stick around?
Yeah, and what's the motivation? I mean, because I said it before, Elias is not trying to win. Brandon Hyde's trying to win. Those players on the team are trying to win. But I don't know if Elias is trying to win. If you're trying to win right now, yeah, Hayes makes sense.
Sure. And that's why I wonder about your question, because who's going to have the biggest impact? I don't necessarily want any of them to have an impact on this 2019 team because we're not going anywhere. Like, what kind of impact are they going to have? I'd rather them continue playing every day, stay healthy, and be ready for next year or the year after that. I mean, why have an impact on this year? What difference does it make? If they come up here and hit 30 home runs, but we still finish in last place, what was the point?
Well, I think the point is it says something good for the future, right? Like,
Sure.
is it something we can count on for next year? Where I don't know if we can say that at this point, but about any of those players in the minors.
What about, I mean, I don't think he's ready yet, and it's maybe more of a 2020-21 thing, but Diaz is somebody I'm excited to see when he's ready.
And
because he's the guy that we got from Manny Machado. And
Right.
for me, that's my biggest thing.
And isn't that the whole thing with Hayes or Francisco or Diaz is like they may be ready this year, and in previous years we could say, oh, this guy's going to come up and make an impact. But we don't know the thinking of this team, and what's the point of bringing them up this year?
Yeah.
And with the developmental thing, when they didn't make the roster when they were out playing anyone, why would they come up in May, June if they're still out playing people?
Right. Like, I would argue in spring training, I agree, Josh, in spring training, like Austin Hayes is one of our top 3 outfielders right now. So if he's not here now, why would he be here in a month?
Right.
It's kind of
So there might not be anyone.
Yeah,
This might be who we've got.
Well, I think maybe you could talk about starting pitchers if a Keegan Aiken, or if a Luis Ortiz or a Dylan Tate, if one of these young pitchers, like, and by young pitchers I mean pitchers in their mid-20s who are AAA still, who never
Tanner
panned
Scott.
out. Tanner Scott, I think, can be a nice piece. Brandon Klein, can one of these young players? So I think there'll be a lot of more opportunity in the pitching realm. Anthony Santander is another guy I don't think we should forget about. He had a big spring. I think that could be an intriguing name too. Anthony Santander, another guy who's on the 40-man. I don't think you'll see anyone who's not on the 40-man already be put on the 40-man because then you have to take someone off. So I think that limits it somewhat. And then, like, even if you take someone off, like, you got to put a Joey Rickard or Dwight Smith Jr. If they're out of options, you got to put them through waivers. And I think the Orioles are all about retaining
Bodies.
talent.
Yeah.
And so anytime you put someone on waivers,
Sure.
you risk losing that talent. And that's Elias is all about accumulating talent at this
Anyone
point.
on this roster that's going to retire mid-season, like a Kobe Rasmus,
Well, there's a couple candidates, right?
Mark Trumbo, Chris
Davis.
Davis.
Mark Trumbo and Chris Davis are 2 candidates for
Mid-season retirement.
Right.
yeah. If you were to put odds on Chris Davis finishing the season with the Orioles, like playing the whole season, ending the season as a major league Oriole, what are the odds here? Like, is that a 50-50 chance, or is that
No, I think it's like 90% chance.
that he ends the season with the Orioles?
Yeah.
This year, at least,
During opening day, they were interviewing Mike Elias, and Jim Palmer asked about Chris Davis. And Mike Elias said, we're going to give him all the time he needs. He's doing a good job with trying to learn the new data that's coming in and understanding that and being open to that. So we're going to give him all the time he needs to develop and come back to the player we used to see that we know him as. So I think they give him the entire season.
Yeah.
So it would have to be, he'd have to be worse than last year and, like, retire.
Well, I mean, he's not off to a great start, right? 3 at-bats, 3 strikeouts.
I think he got 1 hit.
No, 3 at-bats, 3 strikeouts.
You sure about that?
And then he was pinch hit for. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, they've only played 2
Okay.
games, and that's
Gotcha.
what it was.
Yeah, that's what happens. 3 at-bats,
All right.
3 strikeouts, and
All
then
right.
pinch hit.
You must be remembering spring training.
Yeah, spring
Because he
training-
did get
that
a
last
hit
week.
in spring
That
training.
last week of spring training, he was crushing the ball.
Now,
But the other teams must have benched all their real starters.
Sure.
No, I think the guy that's going to have the biggest impact is going to be a starting pitcher, just because this team needs starting pitcher. I'm curious to see what happens with. I'm curious to see what happens with. I think Andrew Kashner. I'm not curious about him at all. I think he'll suck. I don't think he'll be here the whole year, starting every 5th game and doing a terrible job at it. I'm curious to see about the other guys. What happened with Cobb? is Cobb going to be good enough to be traded, or will he be sucky enough to stay on the team? It's a matter of, are you good enough to be traded?
Yeah.
Dylan Bundy, I don't think it's
Same thing.
Well, yeah, I'm not even sure it's there. I guess maybe, yeah. Is he good enough to be traded? But also, the thing about Dylan Bundy, is he going to suck so bad that you can't even keep him in the rotation? I think he might be in fear of losing a rotation spot if he continues to be terrible.
I could see, and I think I agree. If he loses that rotation spot, at what point do you say, all right, he's the next Zach Britton?
Right. That's what I think. I think it's not going to be. I mean, you're not going to send him to the minors at his age.
Right. It's go to the pen.
It's go to the pen.
Yeah.
You're good in 2 inning time slots. We're going to put you in there.
I mean, is this the year we finally see Hunter Harvey? Because, I mean, you guys were talking about him back when I was, here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like that way about Dylan Bundy, that he was here like when Camden Yards. When Camden Yards first came to be, Rick Sutcliffe started the game, and Dylan Bundy came in the 7th and pitched a good inning, like at the age of 13. Like
It's been a long time.
And I also feel like similar with Hunter Harvey, like right after Dylan Bundy came Hunter Harvey, who we've talked about forever. But this is like a huge. We say this every single year, so this is nothing new. But this is a huge year for Hunter Harvey. I saw he's starting out in Double-A.
Is he hurt? Because he's
not right now.
He's not on the active roster right now.
Right. He's going to start at Bowie, but I'm not sure if he's going to start as a reliever or as a starter.
I don't want to steal the intern's thunder, but fun fact:
Yeah,
Dylan Bundy wasn't even born yet when Camden Yards opened.
Okay, fine.
So he wasn't a 13. He was his mother was pregnant with him.
But just feels
Right.
like that.
Agreed.
It was a joke, Bert.
I got
Like
your
that.
point.
And I think you were using euphemisms to say he was conceived at Camden Yards.
Yes,
That's what you were talking about coming into the 7th.
that's exactly what
Yeah,
he meant.
That's exactly what I meant. Maybe in section 336, I don't know. But but all that. So I think there is this is a huge year to watch pitchers, right? Because the problem with this, you could make an argument that in 2 or 3 years, I could see a really good. A really good team as far as batters go, right? Like the outfield, I think, is set as far as prospects go. You could argue that third base, I think Ruiz is an interesting. Both third basemen we have this year are young. I think they're both 24 years old, so maybe one of those guys work out. Shortstop and second base, I think you have again Drew Jackson, Richie Martin, a couple young guys. I think there's a lack of prospects at shortstop and second base, so that's one hole to fill. First base, I think it's Mancini, and Mountcastle's right behind him. And so I think there's prospects at all the position players. Catcher, I'm putting Adley Rutschman on the team. Adley Rutschman and also Francisco. I know we haven't drafted him yet, but I'm just assuming if we draft Adley Rutschman. But the question mark is going to be starting pitching.
Right.
Where in 2 years, where are the starting pitchers coming from? So I think Hunter Harvey is a big guy to watch this year to see if he can just stay healthy the whole year. Another guy to watch is DL Hall. Does he continue to progress and be good? And then, check out all these, and this is why I said the AAA guys could, one of these pitchers could have the biggest difference. Can a Josh Rogers? Can a Luis Ortiz? Can a Keegan Aiken? Can one of these guys take the opportunity to kind of step up? Because there's going to be, we saw it, Game 2, we're starting with an opener because we don't have a starting pitcher to fit that position. So there's going to be opportunities for a young starting pitcher to say, hey, I'm good enough to make this team. Give me a chance. So I think watch, if you're going to pay attention to the minors, which you should be this year, especially watch those minor league pitchers. We had a bunch of good ones in Delmarva last year, like Zach Lothar, and they had a really good rotation. Watch how Alex Wells, watch how they kind of move up. I think Bowie is a really intriguing rotation. With Adam Paul, we'll get into more. I saw Adam Paul yesterday. I went to Bowie Bay Sox Fan Fest. See, I'm all on board with the minors, right? This is a year of the Orioles minors.
Smart move.
I even went to the freaking Fan Fest. Silas did not enjoy it. We still had a good time. There's too many. He's at the age where mascots horrify him.
Right.
And literally everywhere you turn, the Oriole bird was there. The Norfolk Tide, what is that, dragon?
I think it's a seahorse.
Oh, the
Yeah, it's a
seahorse.
seahorse.
Looks like a dragon. Really scary. Mickey Mouse. I don't know why Mickey Mouse was there, but Mickey Mouse was there.
Had to have been a knockoff Mickey Mouse.
Maybe, right.
Yeah. It looked like some guy off the street.
It's a Times Square
Right,
Mickey Mouse.
Exactly. How was
sorry.
Fan Fest, Bowie Fest or whatever compared to Orioles Fan Fest?
Well, it's right at the stadium, right? So all the events are like in the concourse of the stadium.
Great
It was
weather
a
yesterday.
great day yesterday.
Yeah, it really was. Like, it was hot. Like we did we walked around the outfield. Like they gave you a tour of the warning track. And the poor guy, he was the communications director for the Blue Bay Sox. But it was like 300 people on this tour, and he's one of these. Hello, welcome. This is
Low talker.
Not so
tour.
good at communicating.
Well, he didn't have a loud booming voice.
Did you agree to wear a puffy shirt?
Yeah. Why didn't you? Why
On
didn't
the
you take
Birdland
charge?
Radio?
I might have agreed to something. I have no idea. He might be making an appearance at any point. But amazingly, when we went to play at Camden Yards, and we get a chance to play at Camden Yards, awesome
Yeah.
experience.
Oh, yeah.
And we've
it
played
was-
at the Keys Stadium.
Yes.
Bowie, you're up.
But but at Camden Yards, there was a bunch of adults there, and they kept on getting yelled at for being on the grass.
Right.
Right.
Repeatedly.
Oh, yeah.
This was 250 kids, like, running around the warning track, and not a single kid the entire time touched the grass, because the communication director at the beginning says, "Please stay off the grass." And not a single kid I watched touched the grass the entire time.
That's some
Well, they-
obedience.
Yeah.
Kids are better
Well,
than adults.
that's Bowie. You know, people in Bowie that's what they're known for, is obeying all the rules.
Oh, is that true in PG
Oh,
County?
yeah. PG County's
Is that what they're known for?
no rule breakers in PG County.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. All right,
Yeah.
that's good to know. That's good
Yep.
to know.
All that other stuff, fake news.
But it is, you're giving the kids too much credit in that scenario because, yes, we're adults, but you put us on the field at Camden Yards. I'm sorry, I want to touch the grass.
Yeah.
Put me on the field at Bowie. I don't care if I touch the Bowie grass or not. But Camden Yards, I'm touching that grass.
Yeah.
Better believe. And I'm putting my hat on that
Are you
grass
putting your beer?
Right.
are you
My
putting your
beer on the
can
grass?
On that grass?
until the
Right.
groundskeeper lady
Gotta
comes
be
around and
right.
screams at you and tells you to
Are
move
you,
it.
are you
Right, you gotta-
diving on the grass?
No
Like, getting yelled
diving?
at for diving?
Right. I think
I am.
only one of us got yelled at for diving on the grass.
You
I
gotta
believe.
dive on Camden Yards grass.
You got
Shut up.
to.
You should get yelled at for not diving on Camden Yards grass.
This is the grass that Brady Anderson dove on.
That's right.
Right.
Did he get yelled at when he dove on
No.
it? I don't think so.
He got better looking.
That's right. People applauded.
Right. You got to rub some of that grass on you if you want to look like Brady.
Yes.
So does the win? Yes. Honestly, guys. Honestly, does the win yesterday, one win out of 162 games, does that at all sway you on how you feel about the direction of the season?
Well, I'll just tell you, we got a comment this morning on birdlandradio.com. I didn't know you could comment there, but you can comment right under our video stream, and it's some guy named Josh, not me,
Okay.
Unrelated.
who said, once we made the playoffs with the likes of Wilson Bettamy and Nick Johnson on the
That's
infield
true.
corners,
That's true.
we will win 100 games this year.
I've seen a couple.
That's how
So
I feel
I
too.
think there's a little optimism about one win.
I think after these two games, I saw people saying that 161-1 is still on the table.
Still on the table. but see, that's a joke, I think.
Oh,
Right?
shoot. Yeah.
I think that's a joke.
That's
but,
unlikely.
But Bert, seriously, did one win? Did that at all impact how you view the season?
No, not how I view
All
the
right.
season, but how I'm viewing this weekend and the month of April. And I was completely expecting us to be 0-6 going into opening day at Camden Yards next Thursday.
I agree,
legitimately was
too. I didn't think we'd have a win
and
before then.
now
I
we
agree.
have a win before Birdland Radio even starts. Boys, we could take this opening series in New
You know
York
what?
today.
We beat New York in New York, which means, hey, there's a chance we can continue the streak of opening day home opener wins.
I'm going to watch this game today, at least until we're down 5-0. Then I'm turning it off.
Yeah. And if we beat them, I'm going to go on Twitter and just search the search term New York Yankees just to see what everyone's tweeting about
Just
if we beat them
a
again.
little troll job.
I mean, on the bright side, the Orioles are already 2.13% to matching the same record as last year.
All right. I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
I like it. Though.
It sounds like
what that means.
intern analyses.
He started by saying on the bright side, so I like it.
It must be a good thing. I'll take your word for it.
Nice fun fact.
Hey, I heard someone, I was listening to another podcast this morning.
Traitor!
I won't mention their name, and they won't be in studio. They're not part of Birdland Radio because they were not invited. But
Oh, interesting.
they said that the worst case scenario, the Orioles win 82 games or 88 games.
What?
and
Worst
don't make the
case?
playoffs.
So
Right,
they want to go
because-
full rebuild, saying, oh, well, the worst case is we don't get a high draft pick.
Yeah, the worst case is we're just pretty good, but not good enough to make the playoffs.
Sorry, 88 games.
And then it kind of tricks everybody.
I will really
Gotcha.
enjoy this season with 88 wins.
Oh, totally.
I don't really care. I'm going to take the wins as I get them and enjoy them.
So you would prefer that over?
These are the same.
Number one draft
These
pick?
are the same stupid people who, when the Ravens lose like 3 games. Say, oh, season's over. Just give it up. This team can't win the Super Bowl, so don't even try.
Yeah, that's interesting to think about. I mean, it's as unlikely. This is a theoretical scenario, a hypothetical scenario.
Yeah, it was the Jason Lock'em radio.
They weren't invited.
Yeah, they definitely weren't invited.
And the who's the other guy? The guy from 105.7.
Coleman.
And Coleman, yeah.
So we're already getting the number 1 pick this year. I would prefer an 88-win season over next year's number 1 pick. No? Or is that dumb?
Yeah, no, I agree. Because the thing that you don't think about, if we win 88 games, that means some guys had really good years you can count on next year.
That's the
that
point.
Means Dylan Bundy was good or something.
Right.
Or that means we found another young pitcher in the minors.
Right, it means there's hope. And it means there's trust the process. Look what they did in year 1.
Because even right now, like you say, okay, a 3-year rebuild. I still don't know who is pitching for us in 3 years that's going to be good.
Right.
And so if we're seeing guys this year who are good at pitching, like that's huge news.
Huge.
And if that means we win more games and we don't get a number 1 draft pick, I'll take more wins and us finding out who's good over losing every game and realizing, we all suck.
And that's kind of like what I put in my press box prediction, or what I care about this season, is I want to see if any of these prospects that we drafted and stuff during the Duquette era are any good. Right. Like, we know the McPhail guys were all good. Duquette used them all and got as much as he could out of them, and we saw good guys come out of those McPhail years. Now we get to see if any of those Duquette guys is going to be any good, and I hope there's some that we can use, and that makes the process a whole lot quicker.
Yeah.
It would mean, the pitching is the biggest part of it, but as a side note, that means the young guys, like Josh said, the hitters, the fielders, these guys that they're calling a AAA lineup are really more like major league rookies lineup, and they're contributing and helping a team get to 88 wins that shouldn't be at 88 wins.
Right. Yeah, because there's a couple veterans like Chris Davis and Mark Trumbo, and you could argue like Trey Mancini and Jonathan Villar. But outside of that, there's a lot of, even if they're older, there's a lot of unproven. I would put Trey Mancini in the unproven category.
Sure. It's only his 3rd year, right?
Alberto, Richie Martin, Drew Jackson, Nunez, Ruiz, all these guys unproven.
Yep.
And this is their chance to either prove or not, or not prove themselves. And if the Orioles win more than we expect, it's probably because some of these guys have proven that, that they can be, that Dwight Smith Jr. has proved he can be an everyday major league player.
Sure.
And which I think will be exciting news for the Orioles going forward.
Definitely.
But I don't anticipate us winning 80 games.
No. I think that's a pipe dream.
I don't anticipate Dwight Smith Jr. being an everyday outfielder, in 2 years.
Let's just try to beat the Yankees again today.
Yeah, but it's fun, especially fun to beat the Yankees.
Right.
Is someone monitoring the comments or the chat room? Anything worth talking about there? This, Josh, I'm looking at a screen here with a bunch of comments. This incorporates all comments from everywhere.
I believe so.
Right now, all those are from Facebook, though, I believe. But yeah.
But yes.
How about the Yankees having 4 errors in their first 2 games? That's not a good sign.
Right. And I think that's the takeaway, I think, might be more of maybe the Yankees aren't that good.
Well, they are good. They have good pitching. They have good hitting, but maybe their weakness is defensively.
Yeah.
But they're still going to win 80 games.
Guys, you know what's blown me away from just watching the first 2 games?
What's that?
I knew the Orioles were going to be bad. These numbers blow me away. Andrew Kashner had 4 of them.
Oh, he was terrible.
Fry. Well, I'm going to tell you how many they had. You tell me what stat I'm talking about. Andrew Kashner had 4 of them. Fry had 1 of them. Yacobonis had 2 of them. Mike Wright had 1 of them. The past 2 games talking about. Nate Carnes had 3 of them. Hess had 2 of them.
Oh, okay, walks.
And Castro had 1 of them. Yeah, that's
your concern.
In 2 games.
It's ridiculous.
3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 walks.
But they've always been that way.
That's 7 walks a game.
It's ridiculous. And they got the best hitting lineup in baseball, and they're just giving them free passes.
Well, in that case, maybe I'd rather walk some of these guys and let them hit the ball.
Maybe, but I mean...
Well, you could do what Andrew Cashner does, walk them and then give up the home run.
Exactly.
Sure.
Walk the first 2, and then Luke Voigt, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So the walks is a concern.
Always has been.
But everything about this starting rotation is a concern. So just add... But the walks have been ridiculous the first 2 games.
Sure.
I don't know, is that part of Hyde's analytical strategy? We can't give up home runs if we walk every batter.
I hope not.
I don't know.
I can't sit there and watch 12 pitch at bats and then just end up walking him.
Also, it's just funny to look at the line, and I know it's just 2 games in, but the most innings pitched has been Cashner with 4, right? And then Jacobonis is second with innings pitched with 3. But no one has pitched more than 4 innings in the first 2 games, which is just crazy. I think it's going to be a lot of that, right? Because the pitchers are bad and opener and all that stuff.
So we're going to continue this conversation at 9:30 tonight?
Absolutely. And at 9:30, we're going to have some bold predictions. And our win totals. I want to hear some win totals from
we'll have that.
Get some
how
phone
the
calls.
AL East will shake down. We'll take some phone calls.
Does intern, you got any fun facts or anything? I know you've been working over here during the show.
Technically, this is Trey Mancini's 4th season.
Okay.
His 3rd.
Got him.
Got me.
You just got told by the intern.
Shoot. It's right back to his old ways.
Right. He loves the corrections.
Yeah.
Oh, and I want to shout out real quick because we got our official T-ball email.
Oh, yeah.
We're on the same team with Dean Jones Jr. again, so we definitely got to get him on the show. I know he was hanging out with Adam Pohl recently and did a couple episodes with Adam Pohl. But I'm no longer with the Diamondbacks.
Who's the new team?
We are taking our talents to the White Marsh Rec League Cubs this year, boys.
Okay.
I'm going to be a Cubs dad, so I'll be rocking the Cubs cap, the Cubs tee.
That feels like an upgrade.
It is a
from
bit
the
of an
Diamondbacks.
upgrade from the Diamondbacks. I got no problem with the
I
Cubs.
don't know. Except the Diamondback gear, you got to rock now and say you're supporting Jones.
True. Who do we got with the Cubs? Is Pedro Strop still there?
Yeah, Strope is still there.
All right, there you go. I'll get a flat build Cubs cap
Yeah,
and
wear it
cockeyed.
crooked. Yeah.
Go Cubs. Go White Marsh Rec T-ball Cubs, I mean.
All right, well, guys, we appreciate you checking us out and tune into Birdland Radio all day, right? Who we got coming up next, Josh?
SG Sports will be coming up. If you're not familiar with him, he's got a YouTube channel where he talks Baltimore sports.
Yeah, check him out.
So
Check out
he'll
all
be
these new
coming up in
podcasts.
about
This
10
is
minutes.
A great opportunity to check out some new podcasts as well if you're not familiar with some of these other guys. All good stuff. All Baltimore sports.
Intern, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
It's great seeing you, buddy.
Best guest ever.
I'll be back in 3 years.
Can't wait. All right, boys and girls. Thanks for listening. And continue to listen. Right? Not thankfully. That made it sound like it's
Oh, yeah. No, just
Continue to listen.
keep your computer on. Keep
That's
your phone
right.
on. No need to change. Just plug in your phone so the battery lasts.
That's right. And as always, go Oaks.
Thank you for listening to the Section 336 podcast. Please go to iTunes and Facebook for all complaints or the occasional compliment. If I were you, I would not take any baseball advice from these guys. Josh and Matt were raised by an Orioles-obsessed father, and Bert fell in love with Don Mattingly. He has a thing for mustaches.
Welcome to Birdland Radio.
All right.